Some people love Earth Defense Force. They love its quantity over quality approach to content, its enormous, gorgeously mindless combat scenarios, even its wildly, stubbornly outdated looks. You might be able to tell that I am one of these people. But no matter how much fans might show it to friends, most take one look and say, "It looks like a PS2 game, leave me alone please, I'm trying to sleep." Earth Defense Force Iron Rain, it seems to me, is a conscious attempt to see if a few more people could be convinced to enjoy this cult favourite if its roughest edges were sanded down. And honestly, if that is the goal, it's probably a failure. But that's because it's playing things a bit safe, which means it's also extremely good fun almost the entire time, for basically the same reasons as the mainline games. It means the most immediately noticeable change is how it all looks. Unreal Engine has been wheeled in to provide Iron Rain with a slick, if somewhat anemic, facelift. The results are a little uneven. Lighting is frequently lovely, and your newly customizable character is a real joy to watch as they sweep onto the screen during miniature intro cutscenes. On the other hand, better character models for the many, many enemies only serve to highlight quite how ramshackle the still low-quality animation looks. Worse, it performs badly. The devil's bargain behind EDF is that its bad looks have historically allowed for literally hundreds of enemies and allies to sweep across levels with little impact on the frame rate, but Iron Rain can't manage the same feat. Standard PS4s in particular suffer a chugging frame rate as action ramps up. That many levels feel a little less populated than fans would expect, seemingly as a result of that strain, is perhaps the biggest indictment of new developer Yuke's changes. Some might feel similarly about how Iron Rain tells its story. Older games breeze past the idea of such things as reasons for any of this to be happening with complete carelessness. Yuke's, on the other hand, has made a conscious effort to place the story of EDF in some sort of serious context, and as the game continued, I started to love how much care had been put in here. In trying to take itself seriously, EDF becomes even funnier, particularly as English voiceover artists throw themselves wholeheartedly into seriously hammy performances.
In my opinion, I postulate that Sidurst is a creature from another planet.
It's in those twists and additions to the expected EDF formula that I think Yuke's has excelled, most obviously in how it's altered how you pick a playstyle. Iron Rain flattens out EDF's usual class-based system, with unlocks given based on the mission completed, and your character is now able to freely switch between different PA gear, exoskeleton rigs with distinct strengths and weaknesses. You can equip any two weapons and a set of limited-use items to any PA gear loadout. It enables a real freedom of violent expression and feels all the better in co-op multiplayer with players using the same pool of items to wildly different effect. It does mean that the sheer madness of traditional EDF's classes has been chipped away somewhat, but Iron Rain mitigates that with breadth of choice. Having finished the game once, I'm still not close to unlocking every one of the hundreds of weapons, but I'm still reliably changing my loadout almost every mission, simply because there's so much to choose from. The only thing I haven't changed for a while is my PA gear's ability to summon a giant scorpion I get to ride on, because if you try and tell me that that's less fun than the ability to boost in 8 directions, I will call you a liar. That constant change is part and parcel of the design. Iron Rain recognises that introducing new enemy types isn't enough to change the core loop. Run, shoot, reload, repeat. But change how you shoot in every mission and that loop's disrupted. Curiosity is always rewarded. There are a few odder design decisions along the way, generally centred around a slight lack of care in how Iron Rain presents players with information about what they should be doing, which is a bit of a problem if it is trying to attract a new audience. This reaches its low point when, after dozens of levels that revolve around blowing up scorpions, UFOs or the bigger structures spawning them, you're suddenly placed against an implacable bullet sponge of a final boss that A, isn't as interesting to fight as several dozen ants have been for the majority of the game, and B, is so woefully unreactive that by the time you work out how to beat it, it's already boring. It's a neat metaphor for the developer's work as a whole. When Iron Rain tries something wholly new, it's rarely as fun as the mainline games, for fan or neophyte alike. It's best when it alters the EDF template a little, presenting a new spin on an old idea. At first blush, I worried that Iron Rain was a little like EDF lobotomized, a little saner, more approachable, but lacking a certain something for the process. But as I played more, it became clear that this was far more than an experiment in sanitization. Iron Rain is a true spin-off, a new take on an existing and much loved, somewhat loved idea. It won't have done enough to draw in an audience that wants legibility and good looks. Paradoxically, it might have done too much for some dyed-in-the-wool fans. But for me, Iron Rain is a more than pleasant experiment, a game that feels feels like it was made by fans with their own ideas. Some work, some don't, but it's never short of them. And if you can't enjoy new ideas at the same time as shooting a 30-foot spider in its awful face, what are you even playing games for in the first place? If you want more EDF opinions, why not check out our Earth Defense Force 5 review?